Hey, bud. What's up? Mm-hmm. Do you want some? Yeah, take as many as you want. They're good, right? Do you like apple rings or peach rings better? Yeah. Me too. It can depend for sure. You can take the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Why'd you come in here? Not that you can't, but you know. Usually there's a reason. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. Quarantine has been really crusty, for sure. You miss your friends? Me too. Hmm. Yeah, being at home is a lot. Yeah, I'm stressed out about that too. I think things opening up again is just, it doesn't feel safe yet. Yeah. I understand that the people are excited to just like have things go back to normal, but that's not how things work, you know? Yeah. It feels like they're just doing it because they want everywhere to like keep making money. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just a lot, and it makes sense for it to be hard and for it to be confusing or just like a really difficult time. Even if there are things that have happened in your life that were hard before or difficult or different, it doesn't mean just because you've gone through something difficult that that means that you should just be able to handle everything else in life that happens, or just because you've been sick before or been sick for long periods of time, even if that's like something that you're feeling like, why can't I just deal with this? Every time that you're sick or in pain, or there's something big happening that you feel like you don't have any control over, those times in and of themselves aren't like building up your stamina necessarily for weathering or dealing with other things. Sometimes you learn tools, right? Sometimes you learn things about yourself or what's helpful for you, in terms of like things that you can cope, like how that help you cope or help you get through things, right? Um, but it doesn't necessarily mean that every time in the future, the next time, that you're going to be able to handle it without any difficulty, right? Sometimes it's helpful when you have some experience with certain things, but you shouldn't spend this time blaming yourself in general, but like blaming yourself for not being able to, like, oh, shouldn't I have been able to like deal with this, or like I have done something similar to this before, or even if it doesn't feel similar to anything that's happened before, it's not something that you should feel like you should blame yourself for not just being okay with, because it's a lot. Yeah. Or, like when you have like tummy stuff, like every time that it happens, you do like sometimes you feel like internally like, oh, I could have prevented this, or if I was better about stuff, or if I didn't eat that, or sometimes it's stuff that you don't even know like what triggered it. But sometimes you like do a lot of like self-blame because you're in a lot of pain, or it's a lot of like you're dealing with a lot mentally, and physically it's a lot too. And so you sometimes end up being like, well, I've done this before, like why, or like I should have learned by now. Yeah, yeah. But that's not how it works, And it already sucks. Why are you making it more sucky for yourself? It's okay for it to feel like you want a way out. And that's kind of what your brain is doing. But it's not always super helpful to blame yourself or beat yourself up over things that you can't control. Yeah, I know. Mm, yeah. Being inside, I don't think that you have to necessarily like make everything positive or negative. I think there's ways to think about it, and in like there are things that this gave me like space for, or I because of this I was able to do this thing, or I was able to watch more of this, or do more of this, or spend more time doing this thing, or talking to your sib, or whatever the ways that it's sort of come up for you, or the ways that you're thinking about it. Mm. But it is also okay to validate and know that it's like there's a lot to, feel bad about, or feel grief over, or feel like you lost a lot. Yeah. like friends that were visiting from other places, or travel plans, or like certain things that you had lined up or wanted to do, or just being able to go out and be around people or hang out with people or play. Yeah, it's okay to grieve those things or be sad about those things. Mm-hmm. I know it's hard. Yeah. Mm. Can I have some? What are some things you're looking forward to? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Didn't think about that. Mm. Mm-hmm. Oh, you haven't seen them in that long? Oh yeah, that would be fun. Hmm. Are you sure it's been that long? You're right. When it's safe to, we definitely should go. Hmm. Yeah. For me, hmm. I do miss seeing people. I did have a lot of travel plans this year. Yeah. I'm supposed to go across the country a couple times. Yeah, that didn't happen. And I don't know when it'll be safe for that to happen either. Yeah. Or like even like, mm, yeah, like not even when it's like when they say on the news that it's okay to do things, because a lot of things feel like they're opening up sooner than actually feels safe for it. It doesn't feel like the yeah, it doesn't feel like the virus is contained. So it feels like they're risking people's lives just to open things up again, you know? Yeah, that's how I feel about it. Mm. So it wouldn't make me feel better if everyone would continue like doing things to keep people safer, like try to contain the virus still, or not try to like spread it as much. Yeah. But that's something that I'm really looking forward to when I can. Um, Not specifically, like the plans would have changed, but like just traveling to see people would be good. Yeah. I was supposed to go back to school this year. You remember. I was really stressed out about it. But I was excited. But a lot of things have changed. So even that, it feels like it was for the better. Like things um, have not gotten super clear, but things have changed in terms of what I want to focus on, even. So if I do end up going back to school, um, I want to have certain things lined up or like have a better idea of the direction or specifics. Mm-hmm. Yeah, school is not our favorite thing. No talking about school. Yeah, but that is something that was on my mind for this year. Mm-hmm. Um, there's art things that I can do, at home, but there are art things that I can't do from home, or are harder to do from home. Yeah. Um, and for me, I've been stressy about, yeah, like knowing. I think for me, I'm trying not to push myself. I told you about it. Yeah, that later there are people who want to make this time about like you need to learn a new skill, you need to make all these projects happen, and this and this and this and this. Yeah, yeah. Like I tell you, it's not about even like being a good artist. Even is not about like always putting out stuff. Like a big part of everything, not even just being an artist, is being a person, is like being able to step back and step into like caring for yourself, or like just taking time for yourself. It doesn't have to be an active, like feel like a big practice of care. Yeah. So, or like pushing yourself to learn things when it doesn't feel right, or you feel like obligated to, doesn't always, it doesn't make you learn those things faster. It just like kind of guarantees that you're gonna be miserable. Yeah. So for me, I'm wanting to be in this space where I'm learning things because I want to, or giving myself things to challenge myself with, but not wanting to like force myself or do things out of obligation. Yeah. It's a hard line to walk. I don't think it even is a line, if we're being honest. Yeah. I don't think it has to be hard, but I think because of the way people talk about things, it makes it confusing. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's true. Your heart does always know. Yeah. I think people are like very fixated on the idea of like improvement or gains, or like doing better or more all the time. Yeah. I don't think that it's necessarily healthy. Mm. Yeah. It's important to play. I think play is such an important part of being a creative person, or making things. At least for me, I don't know how other people make things. I don't know how people make things out of sheer um, discipline or determination, or just forcing themselves to do something over and over and over again, or because they want to make something perfect. Yeah. I I think I used to be like that when I was your age. I used to think that I had to make things perfect, and then I would beat myself up a lot. hmm And then, so there was a point in time where I was like, I was very good at a lot of the things that I was doing. hmm But then, because I stayed in that mindset of everything has to be perfect, or everything has to be up to my like continually growing expectations of myself, I stopped making anything for a very long time. hmm And it wasn't bad because I wasn't making anything. It was bad because I felt stuck, and I felt too scared to make anything. So whether or not I wanted to make anything, I couldn't because I was scared. hmm I don't think it's a bad thing if you spend many, 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 many years of your life not making anything. You don't have to. I think even existing in and of itself is a form of creation. Yeah. I think being yourself and doing the things that you do, that is in and of itself a way of creating. Yeah. I think, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Life can be art. Thank you for sharing that with me. I think so too. Mm, yeah. I don't know. I think sometimes it can be really difficult to sort of like change your mentality about these kinds of things, especially when it feels like when your art comes from your heart, and you're like either other people, or you get an idea from something, or how somebody else even maybe not, doesn't talk about you. A lot of the times it is because of something somebody says about you, but sometimes it's something somebody says about themselves, or something that they see, and then you internalize that feeling of like, this is how I need to look at stuff, or this is how I need to look at my work, or like evaluate myself. And then it becomes this like really invalidating, gross spiral of like, it's really easy to doubt yourself when you get in that way of thinking about things. hmm But it doesn't help you grow. It doesn't make you happy. It doesn't help you make better things. Sometimes it stops you from making anything at all. Yeah. Or even if the point isn't to make something or write something, it just feels like really, yeah, shamey. Hmm. I don't think that's a good way to live. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for grounding me in that. It's important to talk about this stuff. So I'm really glad to have you to talk about these things with. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, there's always so much to do, but I think something that is really important to center is like how you want to be doing it, or what ways you can be doing the things that you want or need to do that feel good or feel like you're honoring yourself, you know, like you're honoring what you want to be doing or how you want to spend your time or how you want to be feeling about stuff. Sometimes there are things that you need to do that don't feel like super good, but I think it's important, at least really for me, like a way of like navigating or going through life, thinking about the ways that like even your quality of life um, is affected by how you think about things, or whether or not you're spending most of your time like bullying yourself to do stuff. Mm-hmm. That's no good. Even if it doesn't always end up in results either, but even if it does end up in results, it's like it's not worth it. Nothing's worth it to continue being in that mindset, I don't think. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot to release, I think, for me. I'm still learning. Mm-hmm. I'm glad I can have these conversations with you too. It helps me reframe stuff. Yeah, you're right. I think so too. I think I think with different things, sometimes maybe me going through things can help you with things, but also I think there are lots of things that you have to say that are really helpful for me to think about or for you to remind me about. I think there's wisdom that comes from lots of spaces, and it doesn't matter if you're older or younger. I think people have different perspectives and they're valuable in lots of different ways. I think there's reasons why we're not all the same age or we have all the same experiences. Yeah. I think that it's really important that we're all like in spaces together where we can talk to each other, because everybody has valuable ideas or valuable experiences or what they have to say or the stories that they have to share or the art that they need to make, or like the various ways that we can contribute to each other's lives. Obviously, those are things that both of us are very driven by. There's also different ways that people can, in terms of like organizing stuff or measuring things or making things possible or doable. People have lots of different talents and skills and things to offer, and I think that's why community is so important. Nobody can do everything by themselves. I think that it's a lie. It's a bad lie. And part of like the yucky mentality too, that everybody's supposed to be able to just do everything on their own. We're not made like that. Nobody's made like that. It's exhausting to do things like that. And there's no reason to. I think the idea of being self-reliant is really colonial, yeah, and very capitalist, yes. And it just doesn't make sense. It's very anti-human, I think. I don't think it's even very machine-like. I think machines are also a space where you can recognize and see the same pattern of like we're in interconnectedness together. We are different parts, and like we have like do specific tasks, and in our togetherness we can do this thing. Yeah, it's true. Machines also need rest. Machines need to restart. Machines need sleep. Machines need breaks. Machines need shutdown time. Machines need breakdown time and maintenance. Same thing with humans. I think everything on this dimension, it's important as part of the processing and part of living to just have time of quiet or stillness or sleep or being away or having or asking to be nurtured or cared for. And it doesn't always, obviously doesn't always just have to be one person, and it could be both people or multiple people doing care for each other. Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of doing care, did you want to eat something that isn't apple rings? Because I can fix us something. Okay. Yeah. Let's go to the kitchen and see what's going on. What's in the fridge? And see if I can make something to and put it together so we can have some that isn't candy to eat.